Now check the political party you are registered in as a member, resign from a political party, or join a political party of choice. Simply log into your eCitizen account, select your preferred service, fill in the details, then submit. You will receive a system acknowledgement of your request, and an eCitizen system notification will be issued once the processing is complete. ORPP is committed to serve you to promote political rights in a democratic multi-party system. For more information, visit www.orpp.or.ke or engage us using our handles at ORPP Kenya across social media platforms. Your party, your choice.
My name is Mohamud Ahmed Mohamud, the CEO of Kenya Deposit Insurance Corporation, popularly known as KDIC. The corporation recently increased the protected sum from the previous 100,000 shillings to 500,000 shillings per account. This is the highest in sub-Saharan Africa. In effect, the corporation now covers 99% of the depositors in the unlikely event of a closure of a bank. So KDIC encourages the depositors to continue doing business with our banks that are strong and resilient.
Be sure, check out for a KDIC sticker in your banking hall. KDIC, protecting your deposits.
Thank you for joining us. This is KBC Channel 1, the news channel that gives you the best coverage of news in Kenya and beyond. Well, my name is Catherine Kasavuli, and this is the Legends Edition. Well, just before we start our main news broadcast, we have just received news from Maimahio in Naivasha, near a place called Duka Moja. We are told that several people have lost their lives, and we are following the story, and we will give you more details on this breaking news later on in this bulletin. Several people are feared dead along Maimahio, Naivasha, at a place called Duka Moja. This is along the Nairobi Nakuru Road, and more details will be unveiled to you as soon as we get them from the relevant officials and or from the scene of the accident. So stay with us. Now let us look at the news highlights of the day. The new Catholic head of Nairobi, Archbishop Philip Anyolo, installed.
Kila mtoto ambaye anazaliwa kwa taifa letu, hao wazazi wana pesa hawana pesa, apate fursa sawa kuanzia nursery, primary, secondary.
There will be no pay. Opposition leader Raila Odinga promises free education to university level if he wins in 2022. And war on malaria. We tell you more on new vaccine. This in our special feature tonight. Thank you for joining us on Legends Edition tonight. This is KBC Channel 1. My name is Catherine Kasavuli. Later on, we are going to have Topi Liambila with quite a host of stories in the sports arena. And well, our sign language interpreter tonight is none other than Lucy Mwaura. So stay tuned and be with us. And on to our first story of the day. Bishop Philip Anyolo has taken over as the Archbishop of Nairobi Catholic Diocese. Anyolo was installed to take over from the Archbishop John Cardinal Njue, who retired early this year. Archbishop Anyolo took over the new role, hailing those who have stood by him during his spiritual journey, vowing to ensure the church continues to play its role as a voice of reason in the country and not to shy away from pointing out vices in the society. In a message delivered by Energy Cabinet Secretary Monica Juma, President Uhuru Kenyatta hailed the church for its contribution to the development of this nation.
It was in a colorful ceremony held in Nairobi where Bishop Philip Anyolo was finally installed as the new Archbishop of Nairobi Catholic Diocese.
Na kwa muda huu sasa atapewa fimbo ya uongozi kama mchungaji, the pastoral staff.
Bishop Anyolo becoming the 5th Archbishop of the Nairobi Diocese, taking over from Cardinal John Njue, who retired in January after attaining the age of 75 years.
Nikisikia ati mmeanza kurudi nyuma, mnarudi nyuma kama jimbo, andamoswara ndio mtajua ni kwa nini naitwa Njue. Kwa hivyo forward, backward, never.
Archbishop Anyolo promising to lead the church in ensuring peaceful coexistence, especially during the electioneering period.
These children, everybody urge the politicians and appeal to you, leaders, to exercise civility during this period so we can have a peaceful, free and fair election.
The Archbishop saying he will not shy away from pointing out the rot in society for accountable leadership. In the wake of increased cases of unrest in schools, Archbishop Anyolo urged learners to seek alternative means of expressing their grievances.
I plead with you to stop burning schools and instead seek alternative means of addressing your grievances.
President Uhuru Kenyatta, in a message delivered by Energy CS Monica Juma, termed Anyolo's appointment as key, especially as the country heads to the general elections when the church is expected to play a huge role in preaching peace.
In the run-up to that seminal election, the church will have a pivotal role in preaching peace, brotherly competition that does not descend into hatred, and a brand of politics that would be pleasing to the eyes of God.
Meanwhile, Bishop Morris Muhati of the Nakuru Diocese has been appointed to oversee Kisumu Catholic Diocese, where Archbishop Anyolo previously served. Nancy Okware, Legends Edition.
ODM leader Raila Odinga is promising free education to university level school should he be elected president in 2022. Raila, who took his Azimio la Umoja campaign to Trans Nzoia County, said money being looted from public coffers is enough to fund free education from primary to university level.
The former premier, who is expected to formally declare his presidential bid next month, was in Trans Nzoia as he sought to galvanize his support ahead of a major declaration. Raila says as a means of creating equality in Kenya, his government will provide free education from primary school to university.
Kila mtoto ambaye anazaliwa kwa taifa letu, hao wazazi wana pesa hawana pesa, apate fursa sawa kuanzia nursery, primary, secondary,
Raila dismissed those who claim the plan is untenable, saying the monies being looted from public coffers can fund the entire plan.
Hiyo ni pesa yenu ambayo ameiba. Sio pesa ambayo ameiba. Nitazuia zile vishimo pale ambayo wanatoa naye. Na nitapata pesa ya kutosha ya kumudu hii mpango ambayo inaongea juu yake.
While promising to fund small and medium enterprises through loans that will not attract interest before 7 years, the ODM leader dismissed Deputy President William Ruto's bottom-up economic model as empty sloganeering.
Sera yetu na wale ambao wanatangatanga ni kama usiku na mchana. Ni kama usiku na mchana. Wale ni domokaya. Wanabweka tu. Lakini hakuna ukweli ndani yake.
Tunataka Wakenya waishi kwa amani, waishi pamoja kama ndugu na dada. Mulinaza bandu banje. Na ule mtu ambaye ataleta amani nchi hii ni Raila Amolo Odinga.
Kuna kazi nyingi ambazo zimeanzishwa na Uhuru na mwenye anaweza malizia ni Raila Amolo Odinga.
John Jacob Kuria, The Legends Edition.
Detectives have rescued a 35-year-old woman who was this morning kidnapped by a gang of 3, raped and held for 3 hours. The suspects had taken possession of the woman's phone and placed a call to her husband demanding a ransom of Kenya shillings 30,000. Detectives finally cornered the men at a secluded spot in Kabati area in Kandara, Murang'a County.
A thread by the Director of Criminal Investigations. The 35-year-old woman, who is a fruit vendor, had woken up at the crack of dawn and rushed to the bus stop along Thika Road to catch an early bus to the city. At the bus stop, a private vehicle make of Toyota Ram KBU 265V pulled over, offering to drop the woman at Ngara in disguise. Things would later take a turn upon approaching Kenyatta University when the vehicle took the service lane, made a U-turn at the engine gas station and sped towards Thika. The thugs took possession of the woman's phone and placed a call to her husband demanding a ransom of 30,000 Kenyan shillings. During this time, the miscreants aged between 24 and 27 had raped her repeatedly. Detectives were able to track the gang down and rescue the woman, who was rushed to hospital for treatment. The DCI now wants the public to be cautious and report any criminal activities to the emergency toll-free number 0800-722-203. Serafina Robi for Legends Edition.
The Phase 3 of Kazi Mtaani program has kicked off. The third phase, that will run to June 2022, was officially launched by Housing and Urban Development Principal Secretary Charles Hinga in Borabu, Nyamira County. The program involved training youth on technical and vocational skills to help them navigate their lives in the future.
It's a relief for thousands of youths as the steering committee of the National Hygiene Program, popularly known as Kazi Mtaani, announces an extension until the end of June 2022.
The program will provide opportunities to undertake projects that will provide both a livelihood and an avenue for skills building.
The Phase 3 Kazi Mtaani program will be implemented in 900 informal settlements across all counties. Speaking in Borabu, Nyamira County, the Principal Secretary Housing and Urban Development, Charles Hinga, said the program seeks to equip the youth with skills to help them be self-reliant in future.
In this phase, therefore, it is anticipated that Kazi Mtaani youths will be engaged in activities that will lead to qualification and accreditation in the construction sector.
So far, over 10 billion shillings has been utilized in the program, and over 280,000 youths engaged in the first and second phases. Enrollment for the Kazi Mtaani program will be done online through the ministry's website portal. For Legends Edition, I'm Serafina Robi.
A family in Kibwezi, Makueni County is seeking financial assistance to have their infant daughter undergo a liver transplant in India. The family of Marianne Mwekali says the baby was diagnosed with mixed biliary atresia, a rare disease of the liver and bile duct that occurs in infants. The family requires 5 million shillings to have the condition corrected.
According to Faith Musyoki, baby Marian's mother, her daughter was born healthy, but her complexion turned yellowish just 1 month after birth.
Ilianza tu kama normal jaundice, ile tu macho iko yellow. Tuka notice akiwa na 1 month, tukampeleka hospitali Makueni. Hapo akafanyiwa phototherapy, lakini jaundice haikuwa inaisha.
Alarmed, the mother says sought medical attention for the baby not once but several times in different health facilities Makueni County, but her health showed no improvement.
INR ikiwa juu inamaanisha akibleed haiwezi stop. Apart from hiyo INR akona sepsis, infection ya damu, so tukaadmitiwa hizo 2 weeks.
She was referred to Kenyatta National Hospital for further treatment after the child's stomach developed swelling. After numerous referral visits, doctors at the hospital advised her to seek treatment in India to save the baby Marian Mwekali's life.
Tukaambiwa mtoto akona shida ya liver. Daktari aliita chronic liver disease. Sasa akatuambia chronic liver disease ni beginning ya ni liver inaenda ikiharibika but at a slow rate.
Faith Mwaka Musyoki, Marian's mother, says they need help from well-wishers in raising the 5 million shillings needed to facilitate her treatment abroad.
So I'm just requesting people of goodwill wanisaidie ni raise your 5 million nipeleke mtoto hospitali, at least I put a smile on my baby's face.
The family appeals to well-wishers to send funds through the M-Pesa paybill number 8043251 under the account number Baby Marian, or paybill 247247 and account number 0706120771 to help save their daughter's life.
Kenya's COVID-19 positivity rate has dropped to 1.4% after 59 people tested positive from 4,336 samples tested in the last 24 hours. Total confirmed positive cases are now 254,688. No death has been reported on Saturday in the country, according to the latest data from the Ministry of Health. As at November 19th, 2021, over 6 million vaccines had been administered across the country. Meanwhile, statistics from the Johns Hopkins University indicate that globally, over 256 million people have tested positive, while more than 5 million have died from COVID-19 disease. And now on to the county's news. Kenya Power Company has commenced an exercise to disconnect illegal power connections in Kayole area of Nairobi. Many locals have been left with no power, with many lamenting that they have been buying tokens, wondering how their connections were illegal. Elsewhere, youth in Uasin Gishu county have been urged to take advantage of newly established markets and extended working hours to hone their entrepreneurial skills. Stephanie Amondi with the details in the county's news.
A large percentage of homes have been left without electricity in Kayole after Kenya Power moved in to disconnect illegal power connections in the area.
Watu wengi hapa wako na token kama mavijana wa car wash. Huwezi fanya car wash bila token. Sasa wakisema ni illegal connection, na sielewi vile kijana anaweza panda kule na wanakuwa na vitu special, viatu ni special.
As the lights went off in Kayole, some were being switched on in parts of Uasin Gishu County. Governor Jackson Mandago urged the youth to leverage off the newly installed lighting systems to engage in legit businesses.
So, lakini tuelewe kwa nini tunaweka street lights. Tunaweka street lights kwanza improve maneno ya security. Ya pili tuongeze masaa ya kazi. Kama wamama wa soko sasa badala ya kufunga kazi saa 12 watu waanze kufunga saa 3.
In Kisii County, health experts are raising an alarm over an increase in the number of women suffering from fistula. Nyanchama says stigma is stopping many women from seeking treatment.
It is high time, as midwives, as a consultant, obstetrician, we come out strongly to ensure that we are able to prevent obstetric fistula and stillbirths that are associated with obstetric fistula.
Finally, the government is expanding the Eastern Bypass connecting Mombasa Road to Ruiru into a dual carriageway at a cost of 12.5 billion shillings.
Beleni tulikuwa naenda store kidogo kwa sababu ya jam. Sasa hii wakati inatengenezwa dual carriage tutakuwa tunafuraha sana kwa sababu tutakuwa tunaenda squad. Beleni tulikuwa naenda squad kama 3, sasa hivi tutakuwa tunaona tunafuraha tutakuwa tunaenda kama 4 5.
Motorists and traders say the expansion will not only enhance movement of people but also commerce in the area.
Well, you're watching KBC Channel 1, and of course this is the Legends edition. Just as we mentioned to you as we started this news broadcast, we have breaking news from Naivasha, where it is reported several people are feared dead along Maimahio Naivasha Road near a place called Dukamoja. We do not know the number of fatalities, but we know that quite a number of people have been injured. More details will come to you as soon as we receive them in this newscast or in other newscasts. And we take a break. When we come back, we are dedicating Living Legends to the malaria vaccine discovery.
Ili kupata skiza tune hii ya Dhiki Huleta Zaburi kwa simu yako, bonyeza *811 *815#.
Na msibabaishwe na yale mnayoyapitia, hata yawe magumu kiasi gani, yote yatapita. La msingi ni kuweka tumaini letu kwa Mungu aliyetuumba. Katika kitabu cha Warumi 5:3, wala si hivyo tu, ila mnafurahia katika dhiki pia, mkijua ya kuwa dhiki kazi yake ni kuleta saburi. Amina.
Ili kupata skiza tune hii, bonyeza *811 *815# *811 *815#.
The Kenya Medical Training College will hold its 90th graduation ceremony on December 2nd, 2021 at KMTC Graduation Square, Nairobi from 10 a.m. A mandatory graduation fee of 2,500 Kenya shilling is payable on or before 30th November 2021 to National Bank via the details on your screen. Adorning graduation gown will be optional, and graduates wishing to get one can visit KMTC headquarters in Nairobi from 15th to 29th November 2021. Join the event on the KMTC YouTube channel at KMTC Official. Visit www.kmtc.ac.ke for more information on the graduation, training programs, and application procedure. KMTC, training for better health.
Well, if you wanted to fight, you should have brought more men.
There are whispers of a Hebrew with great strength. It is a story for slaves, nothing more.
I want you to investigate this.
You find me the secret of his power,
My Delilah.
Who is this god who gives you such strength?
3 vows were bestowed upon me. No wine, no touching the dead, no cutting of my hair.
Latest developments from the accident at Mai Mahiu, Naivasha Road. We are told that the accident has actually happened at Ntulele, a place called Ntulele, and several vehicles are actually on fire right now as we speak. So anybody approaching this area, please be patient and please be cautious. Quite a number of people are feared dead, a few others are feared injured, and the place is a little dangerous for one to navigate. So please be patient as the authorities handle this fire. And now on to our story on stemming the epidemic. The discovery of malaria vaccine is a major breakthrough in health. Did you know that this vaccine is only 40% effective? And why has it taken over 30 years to develop a malaria vaccine, while in under 1 year, the COVID-19 vaccine was ready? Marie Yambo visited Lake Victoria area, a malaria endemic zone. Here, she met Dr. Simon Kariuki, one of the lead researchers behind the recently approved World Health Organization RTSS malaria vaccine. She tells us more.
Beyond the shores of Lake Victoria lies an epidemic that has ravaged this fishing community for decades. Every year, malaria kills more than 400,000 people globally, according to the 2019 WHO World Malaria Report. In Kenya, children under the age of 5 years are the most affected. These statistics are alive in the 8 malaria endemic counties of Kisumu, Siaya, Migori, Homa Bay, Kakamega, Busia, Bungoma and Vihiga. Dr. Simon Kariuki, a Chief Research Officer at the Kenya Medical Research Institute and Center for Global Health Research in Kisumu, has 26 years' experience in the field of malaria.
They shrink.
Yes. He knows too well how bad the situation has been for this community.
We owe it to our population and our communities to try and lessen the burdens of infectious diseases that affect them, not only in terms of the deaths, but also economically, because they miss going to work, they miss taking their children to school because of the malaria and so on. If you went to a primary school and tested 100 children, you will find 80 of them out of 100 will have malaria, 80%. Now, if you do the same now, you will probably get 30 out of 100.
Though malaria-related deaths have come down significantly, it has taken 37 years of numerous scientific attempts to develop an effective malarial vaccine. Unlike the COVID-19 vaccines that took just months to develop, the researchers tried to explain this out.
You see this thing with inside the red blood cell?
Yeah, I can see it.
A virus is very tiny and it's probably very easy to seek, even to know its protein content. It's very easy to inactivate that virus and then use it as a vaccine to vaccinate people. Parasites are very large organisms, and therefore even knowing which part of the parasite you can constitute a vaccine is not easy. Malaria even has more challenges.
To understand why the WHO approved malaria vaccine that is only 40% effective is a big deal compared to other childhood vaccines like measles, which is 97% effective, and the chickenpox vaccine that prevents over 90% of cases, let's delve into how humans are affected by malaria. The malaria parasite life cycle is very complex. During a bite by an infected Anopheles mosquito, saliva which carries the malaria parasite is injected into the human bloodstream. The parasite journeys to its first target, the liver. And in the liver, the parasite undergoes hundreds of nuclear divisions, producing thousands of new parasites, which burst out of the infected liver cells and journeys back to the bloodstream to infect healthy red blood cells. It is at this point that the malaria victim suffers fever and chills, and if no medical attention is sought, severe cases of anemia, seizures, and respiratory problems set in. Dr. Kariuki was instrumental in the clinical trials in Kenya. He says the severe cases is what the vaccine seeks to avert.
Reducing clinical malaria by even 40% is so important, because it's that clinical malaria that eventually in young children develops into severe malaria and can lead to death. So this vaccine has potential of saving hundreds, thousands of lives in areas where malaria is endemic in sub-Saharan Africa.
Maria Ambo reporting for the Legends edition.
You're watching the Living Legends segment, and we have dedicated this to stemming the epidemic, malaria vaccine discovery. Well, we will be back with part 2. We take a small break.
The Office of the Registrar of Political Parties is a model regulator of political parties mandated to register political parties, regulate political parties, and administer the Political Parties Fund.
Lakini mimi naelezwa wewe wakati mwingi wewe mwenyewe pia upatikani hapa. Sasa nini naendelea?
Sara.
Yes, boss.
Naomba mtupishe kidogo.
Sinaomba. Get out.
ORPP is committed to serve you to promote political rights in a democratic multi-party system.
Just a quick reminder, news breaking in Nairobi and Naivasha and Nakuru. Well, we are told that several people have lost their lives following a multiple accident on Maimahio Naivasha highway, and we are told the area is near Duka Moja, near Ntulele area, and several vehicles are actually on fire. This is now a no-go zone. I think we need to exercise a lot of caution as we are approaching this area and ask for any alternative routes. We now take part 2 of curbing malaria.
Kisumu Level 5 Hospital is one of the sites that is providing the RTSS vaccine that is now part of the routine immunization program, and according to the Director of Nursing, Millicent Olo, with much success.
in a whole pediatric ward, you would just see, the nurses doing blood transfusion and also, giving quinine infusion, which to date, right now, that has reduced. So we are thanking the vaccine, the initiation of this vaccine, since the time it was started, that number of, that severe disease has also gone down.
Teresia Karuri is one of the parents who has brought her child for the job.
Mtoto ako na miezi 9, amedungwa hiyo dozi ya malaria leo. Ya kwanza alidungwa akiwa na 6 months, ya pili 7 months, ya tatu amedungwa akiwa na 9 months. Ule wa kwanza alisumbuliwa na malaria juu hatukuwa tunapewa net na pia hatukuwa tunadungwa dozi. Sasa tulikuwa mara mingi tunakuja hospitali, lakini huyu hajagonjeka malaria hata kidogo. Juu hizo dozi, I think ni juu hizo dozi.
With more than 1.7 million doses administered in the pilot programs across Kenya, Malawi and Ghana, no adverse effects have been reported.
Ule mtoto ambaye anakuja chanjo, kitu ya kwanza anapima temperatures. Tujue hiyo temperature yake iko sawa ama haiko sawa. Kama haiko sawa, tunaongea na mama umuhimu wa mtoto kuwa sawa na apate chanjo. Si lazima mtoto apate chanjo akiwa na high temperatures. Lazima tu establish cause ya hiyo temperatures zenye ziko juu kwanza ndio apate chanjo. Na kama atakuwa amepata ndio akuwe na temperatures za juu, tunahimiza mama immediately mtoto anapata chanjo ya malaria ampewe paracetamol syrup.
At the Kenya Medical Research Institute and Center for Global Health Research in Kisumu, more research is still being conducted to find a lasting solution to malaria. So this is the insectary at the KEMRI Center in Kisumu, where they breed and rear mosquitoes for the sole purpose of carrying out research that will help with coming up with more effective drugs and even vaccines against malaria. RTSS is the first vaccine to give promising results, but another vaccine, R21MM, has actually shown even higher efficacy at 77% in early trials.
The vaccine is being developed by Oxford University, and it was tried in Burkina Faso, and it shows there's some very good efficacy. Now, it's very good news for us because it's almost similar to the RTSS. So we need to replicate or to conduct same trial in other areas where, for example, in Western Kenya we have year-long transmission of malaria before we can say whether that vaccine is effective or not. But overall, it's very good news, and we look forward to that vaccine being tried in other countries. And if it's proven to be safe and efficacious, that's what I'm talking about, the second generation malaria vaccine.
Marie Yambo reporting for the Sunday Express.
Buda, pesa yako. Oya, lipia Ronaldo pia wewe. Unadondoka mwana kakana.
Ni game ya mwisho, multibet ingiane ama ichomeke. Swali ni, utadondoka?
Kati mkana melizwa, shukisha.
Dondoka visimpo na Odibets cash out.
Kio manake.
What is this disease and what are some of the possible causes?
Malaria is a disease of still a huge public health concern. It is transmitted by the fecal Anopheles mosquito.
if you are in Nairobi, the mosquitoes in Nairobi don't transmit malaria. Is it true?
They not only spread malaria, we have mosquitoes that even spread other diseases.
What are the interventions and challenges accompanying their implementation?
As a Ministry of Health, with support and collaboration from partners, we normally do distribute nets every 3 years, what we call mass net campaigns. Like for example, this year we are distributing nets to 27 counties.
Good evening, I'm Topi Liambila with the Sports Roundup on the Legends edition this Saturday evening. In our highlights tonight, we have got the FKF budget misinformation. The inaugural Women's CAF Cup ends in Cairo, Egypt. Under the international scene, we have reports on tennis, the Premiership League, NBA, and motor racing. Welcome. The FKF Caretaker Committee has asked stakeholders to ignore a budget document that has been circulating on social media platforms, alleging that the committee intends to spend over 800 million shillings in just 6 months on football activities and management. The committee, led by CEO Linda Ogutu, termed the document as fake and reiterated that it is in process of coming up with a budget before top-tier leagues resume next weekend. Here's the report by Mwaki.
Social media of a budget that is attributed to this particular committee. I did mention we are now at the work plan stage, where we're trying to figure out how we will do this work in 6 months. You cannot have a budget before you finish the work plan. So in essence, what you're saying is the budget that you're currently seeing on social media being attributed to the committee is not ours. I mean, Kenyans can be very creative, as we all know. They can come up with anything and everything, but that budget does not belong to the Caretaker Committee.
When is the league going to start? And everybody is waiting to hear when. Our target is by next weekend. The league should be starting with the KPL and everything. And we're looking also to have meetings with the stakeholders and to handle a synchronized approach, because we are going to back to basic and putting everything in order.
South Africa's Mamelodi Sundowns beat Hasaka's Ladies of Ghana 2-0 as they made history and won the first ever Women's African Champions League title in Cairo. The win goes sees Mamelodi Sundowns join Spanish side Barcelona as the only football clubs in the world to win the men's and women's Champions League titles on their respective continents. On Thursday, Aswa of Morocco clinched the bronze with a 3-1 victory over Malabo Kings from Equatorial Guinea. I'm sure it couldn't get bigger for the South African ladies, and I'm sure back home in Joburg, Cape Town, there must be a lot of celebration, and it's a well-deserved victory over there in Egypt. Now, the second edition of Jamal Boxing Cup, which will be held next month in Kisumu, will be used as trials to select a team that will represent Kenya in Africa Commonwealth Games qualifiers. This was revealed today by Duncan Kuria, the BFK Communication Director, after the end of the first edition tournament held in Nairobi, and which attracted 48 pugilists.
124 male pugilists and 24 female pugilists took part in the inaugural edition of Jamal Boxing Tournament, which culminated in Nairobi. Kenya Police bantamweight boxer Shafi Bakari showed his impressive performance and beat Mwinyi Kombo of Kongowea in the 54 kilograms category.
Talanta iko sasa, makuna talanta sani watu wapige zoezi kabisa.
Si rahisi kuanzia mtu wa kwanza hadi wa leo, kwa sababu kila mmoja anataka kujiprove kwamba anaweza, kwa sababu ile nafasi labda niko mimi, anaona sifai kuwa hapa, yeye anafaa kuwa hapo.
Abenego Chalo of Kenya Defence Forces showed his prowess and beat Abdallah Charo of Mombasa. In the ladies category, Christine Ongare continued a sparkling performance and beat Christine Aluoch from Siaya in the 48 kilograms category.
Pia kuna ushindani pia nimeona kwa mapigano ambayo yanaendelea hapa. Mabondia wengi kutoka kwenye klabu na kaunti ambazo zinashiriki hapa wameweza kujikaza kabisa na wanatoa ushindani mkali sana kwa mabondia mabingwa, na naamini ya kwamba kwenda mbele nadhani tutakuwa hali pazuri.
The second edition of the Jamal Cup will be held in Kisumu from 8th of next month and will be used to select a team that will feature in the Africa Commonwealth Games qualifiers. Frederick Muki for Legends Edition.
Former Kenya Handball Federation national champions Black Mamba handball team today got a shot in the arm after receiving playing kit and a cash donation from Makadara businessman Anthony Waithaka as they prepare to leave for Dar es Salaam, Tanzania to play in the annual Eastern Central Africa Handball Club Championship set to be held on the 28th November this year. Munga with the report.
Black Mamba, which hails from Makadara, have received a boost ahead of the annual Eastern Central Handball Club Championships after receiving 2 sets of uniforms and a cash award to help the team with its logistics around preparations of the team.
Nikaona kama vijana wameperform vizuri, hawafai kukosa hii chance ya kwenda Dar es Salaam, na pia kwa liga hapa yao pia wako mbaya, manake kesho pia wanacheza na Ulinzi na nasikia wako sawa, so nikaona nikuje, na pia kuna wadhamini wale kidogo wata chip in na bado tutatafutia wengine. Though pia mimi mwenyewe nimeamua ndawasaidia mpaka waende na warudi, na wakirudi pia tunaomba warudi na kikombe ndio at least hata sitwe na motisha ya kuwasaidia zaidi.
The Kaloleni-based handball outfit will be seeking to return to the East African showpiece, ready to sting as the tournament returns this year after it was postponed last year due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
Imekuwa muda sana kabla hatujaweza kupata usaidizi wowote, lakini yeye amejali maslahi ya vijana na ameweza kuja hapa Makadara kutupatia jezi na pia ametupa msaada. Yetu tu ni kumhakikishia kwamba tukienda tutarudi na kikombe na kuendelea mbele. Tunaomba tu aendelee pia hivyo kusimama na vijana na tutaendelea kumsupport.
Elsewhere, Equity Hawks kicked off their FIBA Zone 5 qualifiers with a win after seeing off RG of Rwanda 53-33. The tournament, which kicked off on the 18th, will come to a close on Tuesday the 23rd of this month.
National men's rugby 15s team Kenya Simbas, who showed an impressive performance and registered their first win in the Stellenbosch Challenge after beating Brazil 36-30. The team had lost its first opening match against curling champions team and Namibia.
In the scrum a little bit longer to see if they can't push their way over the try line. They have been strong at scrum time throughout this game, as Douglas Roth feeds, and it's exactly what they do. They keep it in there. They'll try and drive their way over. Still being controlled at the back. The penalty is there. Oh, and Roth just not able to get his hands on the ball, but it doesn't matter because the penalty is there. The penalty try has been awarded as Darwin Mukidza is in position. He gets the pass away to Kilonzo, now to Kubu. Now it's the big Vincent Onyala making his way down through the middle of the field. Still available now for this Kenyan team. Strong work from Kenya. Stopped just short of the 22 to Mukidza in that fly-off position. Available on this near side. John Okoth looking for the gap. Does well to secure the ball. Picked up at the back by Samuel Asati. Tonight as well. It was tight, it was physical, it was a real
Mixed fortunes there for the Simbas, but it's still early days and could change. The tide. The Nairobi Regional Under-17 Chess Championship entered its first day at the Sarit Expo Center, attracting a record 703 players. In the girls under 7 years category, Elsie Kamoni showed a brilliant performance after 5 rounds, winning all her matches, while Nathaniel Manyeki led with maximum points on the boys category. The championships will be used to select a team that will feature in the Africa Chess Championship for juniors later this year.
The top players in this event will represent Kenya at the Africa Under-17 Championship to be held in Nairobi next month. So this event is very important on that nature.
My name is Janki Nipul Shah. The game is very nice and very fun, and it's really enjoyable. You get to learn new things, and I've played a lot of tournaments and won. I'm Janvi Nipul Shah. I go to Austral Academy, Nairobi. I'm in grade 7, and I really like playing chess. For me, chess is like a game which boggles my mind, and it also helps me in my studies. In my experience, I learned that practice makes perfect, and so also you should practice.
My name is Abel Taji. I go to Seedlings Junior School. I am in grade 5. I started playing chess in 2018, and the experience here was great.
And now from the daybreak games, it looks like we step into the night games with African Mobile Games Development Studio, Usiku Games, has today unveiled the first of its kind amateur football mobile game to promote outdoor physical activities and encourage sportsmanship among youths in East Africa. The initiative, dubbed Futa, aims to transfer what the youth learn from the physical football pitch to the virtual gaming space.
The game was developed through a public-private partnership between GIZ Regional Project, Sports for Development in Africa and Usiku Entertainment Limited. The main objective of the game within the framework of the hashtag Gaming for Good approach is to promote digital and social skills of players, as well as physical fitness and technical sports skills. Futa allows players to develop their personal player card profile in the game, featuring their stats and self-selected profile pictures.
So most people don't think of Africa as really a main center for gaming, but it's about to be. There's only 3 places in the world that have 1 billion players, and that's China, India, and now Africa. And so we're trying to make Kenya the center of gaming for Africa.
Today, mobile gaming accounts for approximately 57% of total video game revenue worldwide. And even with the adoption of 4G and 5G networks, mobile gaming is gaining popularity in remote parts of Africa because of faster broadband and availability of low-cost data.
That was Richard Munga who prepared that report just gone. Now, Sebastian Ogier headed Toyota Gazoo racing team mate Elfyn Evans by 5.2 seconds at the midpoint of the penultimate leg. The Yaris World Rally car driver remains on course to sign off his full-time career here with an 8th FIA World Rally Championship in 9 seasons. Still on the international scene, English Premier League leaders Chelsea ruthlessly tightened their grip on top sport by punishing the failings of lackluster Leicester at King Power Stadium following a comfortable 3-0 win. Meanwhile, more misery was heaped on beleaguered Manchester United manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as Watford sealed a 4-1 win over Manchester United. This report prepared by Moki.
At the right time.
Kind of story that a die-hard Man United fan would like to hear this weekend. Now, still on the international scene, Tennis Australia has confirmed that world number 1 Novak Djokovic and all players will only be allowed to participate in the 2022 Australian Open if they are vaccinated against the COVID-19 virus. The first Grand Slam of the season is due to start on January the 17th in Melbourne, Australia. Now, Djokovic, a 9-time winner of the tournament, has so far not disclosed whether he is vaccinated and said that he would wait until the organizers revealed the health protocols before he made a decision about playing. The 34-year-old could win a record-breaking 21st men's Grand Slam title if he defended his title early next year. Djokovic sparked anger last year when he wrote a letter during the build-up to the tournament suggesting that strict 14-day quarantine rules for top players should be relaxed. And over in the NBA, LaMelo Ball produced a big first half on his way to 32 points as the Charlotte Hornets won their 5th game in a row, beating the visiting Indiana Pacers 121-118. Meanwhile, Jason Tatum scored 37 points and the Boston Celtics beat Los Angeles Lakers 130-108. Here are some of the highlights.
LeBron James' Los Angeles Lakers return with a dominant 130-108 win, with Jason Tatum bagging a whopping 37 points and 11 rebounds.
Gets past Westbrook and the flush. James exploding here in the second quarter. Tatum has Bradley on him, using his height advantage. 23 for Jason Tatum.
Marcus Smart had 22 points, Dennis Schroeder bagged 21 points, and Al Horford added 18 points, while Josh Richardson chipped in 15 as the Celtics earned their 6th win in 9 games.
It's a surreal moment. Obviously, you know, Bill Russell, I know the impact that he had on the Celtics and the NBA. I didn't get to see him play, but, you know, having somebody like Paul come to the game and somebody I have a relationship with, and I mean, I remember watching him play, and now you watching me play. That's crazy to me.
Anthony Davis led Los Angeles Lakers with 31 points, and James had 23 points in 32 minutes. They each had 6 rebounds and 2 assists. Meanwhile, LaMelo Ball had a season-high 32 points along with 11 rebounds and 8 assists, and Charlotte held off Indiana for its 5th straight victory.
Blocked. Martin got a piece of it. LaMelo the rip through with the left hand and a foul. LaMelo in a hurry. What a wonderful player.
Gordon Hayward added 25 points, and Kelly Oubre had 16 to finish off a 4-0 homestand that included wins over Golden State Warriors and Washington Wizards.
I mean, we all doing it. I feel like we just gonna keep going. We get a little timid at the end, I feel like, but we're gonna, I mean, that's what film and stuff for, practice, so we're gonna keep working on it and keep getting better.
Your 2 assists.
Jeremy Lamb had 23 points for Indiana Pacers, and Malcolm Brogdon added 16 points. The Pacers lost all 3 of their games on a trip to fall to a 2-9 overall.
And with that NBA story, it's a wrap-up on the sports edition this Saturday evening on the Legends edition. There, ladies and gentlemen, as I sign off, wishing you a great sporting weekend and, of course, a great week ahead. But for now, I hand over to Catherine Kasavuli to continue with the rest of the news.
Thank you very much, Topi. That was an interesting sporting day with Manchester United having an amazing day. Anyway, I don't support any of the teams, so please do not put me in any bracket. We conclude our bulletin with a very, very sad story. The remains of the late Zadok Kadagi, a technical operator at the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, has been interred at his home in Uungani Village, Machakos County. The late Zadok, who was seconded to the Parliamentary Broadcasting Unit, was eulogized as a hard-working officer who died at his prime when his services were still much needed. Zadok leaves behind a wife and 4 children.
Family, friends and colleagues of the late Zadok Kadagi have paid glowing tributes to the man they described as a loving father and a dedicated officer. Until his demise, Zadok worked as a technical operator at the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation and the Parliamentary Broadcasting Unit.
Nataka kushukuru Mungu kwa sababu tumeishi maisha ya amani, na Zadok alipenda familia yake, na najua wengi wanaomjua na wengi walio karibu naye walijua hakuna kitu ambacho alitreasure kama familia yake.
Our dad loved us so much. He wanted us to reach somewhere where we could stand on our own, having good life, good future.
Zadok, who joined KBC in 2006, worked as a camera operator attached to the newsroom on the Senate of the Republic of Kenya.
Zadok was a worker. Zadok was a team player. Zadok was diligent in his work.
Alikuwa like a brother to me. Na ningesema kwamba he was a worker ambaye alikuwa amejitolea, na kwa muda ambao tumekaa na yeye pale kazini alikuwa amesimama kuonyesha kwamba ni mtu ambaye angeaminika katika kazi ambazo tulikuwa tunafanya pale.
His skills and zeal for work made him a resourceful and dependable worker. We have lost an exemplary staff member.
The sad news came, lakini ni njia si wote. Tunaomba tu Mwenyezi Mungu amlaze pale pema.
The father of 4 who succumbed to liver complication leaves behind a widow, Pascalina Mudheu, and 4 daughters, Sharon, Christabel, Angel Maria and Teresa. Yusufar reporting for the Legends edition.
May his soul rest in eternal peace. And just before we conclude the bulletin tonight, we just want to remind you of a developing story right now on the Naivasha Maimahio highway. Several vehicles have caught fire. There's been a multiple accident that just took place at 9 o'clock this evening as we were starting the bulletin. Several vehicles are actually on fire. Several people have died in the accident and several others are injured, and the public is being requested, please look for alternative routes as you ply that route, as you try to come to Nairobi or try to go to Nakuru or Gilgil. Please avoid this area near Ntulele, Dukamoja. This is on Maimahio Naivasha highway. The situation there is absolutely volatile, and we do not want to see more people getting injured or traumatized because of this accident. Well, we know that the officials are taking everything under control, and of course they've cordoned off the area, and we pray that we will not lose very many lives. So do have a nice evening. Thank you so much for watching KBC Channel 1. My name is Catherine Kasavuli. This has been the Legends edition, and our sign language interpreter has been Lucy Maora. We love you. Have a good evening and a wonderful week ahead. Good night.